Hello, footies, and welcome back to another episode of Foot in Review Shorts. Today is October 7th, and we are recording this before the Monday evening content drops. So, if there's anything special that arrived Monday evening, we will cover that on Tuesday's show. My name is John, and we'll be talking about the Varane and of the era, another Thuram, Salmon. We quickly discuss my Wicked League experiences, and I got a player to review. And I'm not even doing this alone today. I am joined by the scout, Mr. Nathan Downs. Hey, Nate.
Hey, John. Thanks for inviting me in on this short episode. It's quite cool to be involved in something slightly different to our usual Tuesday club.
I'm very glad to have you on board because I've played Wicked League and I'm actually fallen ill. I'm not saying that these two go together, but it might not have helped. So I'm glad you're here to help me pick up the pieces, mate. Because I don't want anyone to sound like a solo podcast listening to my nasal voice today.
I'm sure we'll be fine and we'll get through this quite well.
But that's also the reason why we're recording this during daytime and you might miss the Monday evening release. But hey, we still have got plenty to talk about this weekend, Nate, don't we?
Yeah, there's been quite a few SBCs dropped. Obviously, the first weekend league for those that qualified and managed to go through it. There's been lots of chat around social media about the state of the game as well. There's loads that we'll probably not even touch on today, but we'll pick up in the next few days coming up.
Best FIFA ever.
To be honest, I don't hate it as much as a lot of people online seem to do. I'm quite enjoying it. It's like I keep saying, it's a total change of mindset, but I'm not hating on it like I know a lot of people are.
No, so I'm in the same mind. Like I'm actually quite liking the passing and connecting well. Shall we discuss my Wicked League first?
Yeah, let's start with that.
And then at least I know I still have a voice left when you talk about content. So yeah, Wicked League I wasn't going to play, honestly. But then I realized I did a podcast this Thursday talking about even if you don't have time, you'll have time if you schedule it properly. So I thought I'd take up my own advice and I started playing. So I did it basically in 3 sessions of 5 matches during the weekend. Started, I think, Friday night with 5, played 5 on Saturday and played 5 on Sunday evening. Honestly, Nate, I ended up 10-5. It could have been 13-2. It could also been 8-7. It's like, so every single match was close. So I've got a list here with my results, right? Match 1 is a 3-0 win. Match 2, it is facing the best player I've ever played, I think, and I lost 1-0. Like, seriously good match, but I didn't get any chances in. Then 3-3, lost on penalties. That's unfortunate. 4-0, 2-0 win. 4-2 win, 1-0 win, 5-4 win. That match, I was 2-4 behind, and the guy passed 3 times, and I was like, I'm not giving up here, which was a good thing. Which goes me one result though. Players tend to play high. There are players that play a high line, 91 aggression. They will run out of stamina if you just hold on. So don't give up when you're 2-0 behind, I think, against these players. Then it happened, Nate. I played 0-0, lost on penalties in match 9. I played 0-0 in match 10 and also lost on penalties. So after 10 matches, I lost 3 matches on penalties. I was 6-4.
That's close. I struggle with penalties this year. This is the worst one for penalties.
I don't miss them all that much. I just can't stop them. But then match 11 happened. Played 3-3. Came back in the last minute. And I won on penalties, Nate. So it is possible.
Yay.
2-0 rage quit. I lost 2-4, but that was 100% deserved loss. 3-1 rage quit and a 4-3 win on the final match. Honestly, decent rewards. Got Foden out of it. I got Ledley King out of it as well. So I'm not unhappy with this week. And I thought it was sweaty. It was definitely closer than before. I didn't get any. I did get some good wins, but not like total walkovers, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think what was intended sort of happened. And like I said, it was 10-5. It could have been 7-8. It could be 8-7. It could also be, if I won the penalties, 13-2. So it was so close that I think it was the experiences I kind of hoped for. And I think 15 matches, split them up in 5 was doable. Didn't feel like a big core either. No rage quits. I think only 1 rage quit, actually. The first one at the 85th minute. They scored a 3-0 and they quit then. But no weird disconnects, no draw, quits at 0-0, stuff like that. I just played 15, That's it. I quite like my first weekend league experience, if I'm honest. But looking at socials, like you said, might be alone with that.
I think a lot of it comes to do with the promise of tremendous rewards. And to be honest, I had a bit of FOMO that I wasn't getting to do weekend league, which I didn't. And I did think that the teams would like straight away be left behind. Like, and I know you got Foden, which is a good pull, but he's not top level. He's very good if you know how to use him, but it's not like if you don't have him, your team's going to be horrific. Ledley King's a great pull. He's very underrated in FC. I think he's really good. But
Coins were good as well. Maybe 90,000 or so, 100,000 coins or something. I don't know exactly anymore, but it was a decent amount of coins as well.
Yeah, so the rewards are still good. It's the same though. The drop weight in some of these packs. Some people get insane pack luck. You look at some of these first owner teams, and some of them are crazy, and some of them you could still spend the same as other people and not hit. It's just luck of the draw, unfortunately. So I can see the hate for it, but actually, I think that your weekend league experience seems to be what you'd expect. Close games on the whole, quite sweaty, especially for the first one. Very competitive. I think it's kind of does what it says on the tin.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see if we do more. But this weekend, even though I said I don't have time, this weekend is out of the question. I've qualified again though, but I can't play this weekend. So I'm curious to know your thoughts. And if you're listening or watching the show, drop your comments below so we can take it into the consideration in the next show. Nathan, content-wise, was a packed weekend as well, no?
Yeah, some actually really good ones. And, in the past, we've kind of gone on about the pricing of some of the SBCs. I actually think they've been some really good pricing. Just looking through them today, we've had Kefram Thuram, the centre mid last night, who is going to be a beast. He's Gullet Gang. He's coming in around sort of 60k. Yeah, there you go. You got it on the screen, 60k. I think this is a tremendous SBC, if I'm being honest. He's always really good. He's got potential for improvements as well because
he'll get 2 upgrades at least.
Yeah,
he'll get 2 upgrades. I think that's it. He'll get 2 upgrades.
He's got amazing play styles as well, especially if you're playing him as a kind of your defensive midfielder with his intercept and his bruiser, press proven, relentless, is everything that you'd want. He's got ping pass as well, so he'll help you get out of trouble. I think this is a really well-rounded card, and I think 60k is crazy. Like I actually think that should be, if you got that for double the price, 120, you'd still be saying it's almost a must-do if you can fit him in.
I said last week that I find the amount of midfielders that come out that are Gullet Gang, so 80 in all stats, is pretty amazing for me in like second and third week.
Mm-hmm.
This card, I mean, I saw it. I mean, I would do him anyways. I'm a Juve fan. I'll do him anyways, right? This card came out. I was looking at the stats. I was like, wait, what? If you told me a year ago we'd get a 60,000 coin SBC, right? With full Gullet Gang stats in the right positions as well, with no real downplay. There's not a bad stat in this card. Yeah, his free kick accuracy is low. Wood, right? And his penalties are low. Like, as well, in my case, weekly league might make a difference, but besides that, nobody cares about these 2 stats. What a card, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I say, I think it's a must do for those that can. I should actually be saying don't do him because I think he's going to be really difficult to face. I've heard some good reviews on him already.
6 foot 4.
6 foot. Yeah, I mean he's a monster. And last year he was tremendous as well. I believe he had a couple of specials last year, I think, and he was really good. So I've done him. I'm excited to try him out. Hopefully he'll do what you'd expect him to do. But I think for 60k, if you've got it and you can put him in, I think that's an absolute no brainer.
100%, just do it.
Absolutely. And it also links in with the next SBC that was released, so that we'll talk about as well, which is one that I did instantly. Rafa Varane, end of an era card. He's more expensive. He's up sort of 410-ish, 400-ish, depends what console you're on. His price fluctuates. I think last night he was sitting at 380, 390. So if you do it at the right time, it's a lot cheaper. But I mean, Varane, we know he's just immense in game. He's got really good play styles as well. Intercept plus, he's got ping to pass, block, anticipate, and aerial as standards, which I think is really good for a centre back as well. He's got roles, he's got defender, ball playing, and he's got the plus and stopper, so you could use him in any defensive setup as well. I think this card's just tremendous, and although he's an 87 rated, I think this one could last you for months. Like, we're not just talking weeks. This one could last you a long time, because I've got a feeling he'll play above his stats.
Yeah, I mean, 90 standing tech. I can go through all these stats, but I agree. I'm not a big Varane fan, usually. right? I think it's always a bit of a overhyped card. This year at Como, I was like, yeah, not the card I saw. People were like, you should try Varane. I'm like, yeah, it's all right. Then this came out Saturday, I think. I was like, ooh. Yeah, and if you combine that with another French centre midfielder from the same league and Player of the Month card from the same league that's also French.
Yeah. That's a tasty core. And we're just hoping they'll drop the other Thuram as the right back Thuram icon as maybe an SBC as well. Then you've got a very good link. But even for 400k, like I think this has got a bit of longevity in it. And some people may disagree. It's with a shadow on, he goes up to 90 pace. So that's fine. His defending with a shadow, goes up to 94. Stand tackles 98, which is tremendous. He always has that sort of AI auto block as well. And I know a lot of people complaining about the AI defensive actions, but I think that this one is tremendous. His agility and balance looks low, but it always does. And I always get on really well with his cards. And being a former United player, like that for me was a must do.
Yeah, and I play this weekend with Virgil van Dijk and Ta at the back line. Virgil is tradable, and I'm considering selling Virgil and put Varane there next to Ledley King now, and just keep them for like the next months or so.
Yeah, like I say, I think this will last. There may be some better out on paper, but I think he'll still play really well, even up to sort of Christmas time. I think he'll still be in some squads.
And I know I've been critical on EA, although for some people they say, looking at my DMs, I wasn't too critical. There's one thing: EA's graphical design department is saving the game for everyone because this card design is lit.
Delightful. It's so nice. It's a shame he's not got the United kit on, but obviously he finished his career at Como, even though I don't think he played a competitive game. But
right?
Did he play one? I thought he got injured in pre-season, but then he got his injury and retired. But I think that's a really good card. 400k you could say is a little bit pricey if you compare it to other SBCs we've had. But I think if you're thinking of the history of sort of some of these SBCs, like a couple of years ago, this would be going for probably $750,000, probably. So 400k is not bad in sort of relative terms.
I paid 3.5, I think, for Virgil. So.
Yeah, exactly. So similar, but this one obviously being untradeable. I like untradables. I know some people like to keep tradable so you can sell and when they're at the peak. But I think if you're wanting to run some of those other Thurams as well, I think this is a cracking option. It also ties into the same Maximan SBC they had not long ago as well. So I think they're trying to force people to play sort of French teams.
Well, it's easy to link at least.
Absolutely.
What else do we got you want to mention? Do you want to mention Fisk?
Fisk is one I was going to sort of dot over because it's a Liverpool player, so I've got no interest. But it's an XP one. You can unlock it through XP. I don't think it's got 85 defending, but apart from that, there's nothing else stand out-ish. So it's more just fodder to have in the club at 84 rated. But the other two that kind of got released along with her, I thought looked quite interesting. So we'll start with Salmon because I've heard lots of really good reviews of Salmon. So Ebony Salmon is a 85 rated striker from Aston Villa in the WSL, the ladies team. 20k, looks a really nice card, 90 pace, decent shooting, 85 shooting. She's 3-star, 4-star. She can play out wide right as well. I think for 20k, this is a really good option. It's got the quick step as well, so you could be able to get past with some of these speed boosts and stuff. I think it's decent. Defending's horrific as you'd expect, but 92 jumping on it as well. Some decent dribbling. I think it's quite a nice card for 20k if you want to sort of branch out. She's English as well, so she's got decent-ish links, even though it's WSL.
Definitely looks really cool. And we know last year she had some pretty cool cards as well, right?
Yeah, so I think this one could be a fun option. I don't think it'll get into elite tier teams, but if you want something a little bit different for 20k, I don't think you can go much wrong with that.
100% agree.
And the last one I was really wanting to touch on is Mewis. I think it's Christy Mewis, who's at West Ham, a lady. She's American, but she's got a really nice, sort of well-rounded card as well. Decent pace, decent finishing, all right passing, good dribbling, left-footed, 4-star, 3-star, plays CM or CDM. Nice play styles as well. Incisive passing, long ball, tiki-taka. So I quite like that on your centre mids. She's not elite tier again, but I think for something a little bit different, and if you wanted to tie in with other players, I think that's quite a good option to have as well. I think she looks like she could potentially be better than her stats. Like she could play ahead of her stats, I think, as well.
Yeah, I think this is one of those cards where it's fun and you need it for like objectives, anyways,
Yeah.
right?
Or EVOs,
Or
potentially.
EVOs, it won't hurt to get in your club. And I've done a couple of those now so far, just to make sure I've got some options when the day comes. You need some American players, or you need players from the Barclays,
WSL, yeah.
WSL. Also, I like if you play Rush, there's always options that you need to have this kind of player, this kind of player. And having these cards in your club will make sure you have more options to fit those requirements for extra objective points.
Absolutely. No, like I say, I think it's a good option to have. I don't think it's a must do, don't get me wrong, but I think it's a nice card. I think it'll be usable in certain scenarios, or like you say, like you never know what's going to happen with EVOs. I think EVOs is a big thing at the moment, and there's always either good chains or good cards that can creep up. So I'd recommend doing it if you can, just even storing it in your club.
Apparently, EVOs are sort of fixed now as well, so we'll see how that goes. Now gives us more options as well. But if we would summarize this, Nate, we can say Thuram is a definitely must do, even if you don't play Syria.
Yep, absolutely.
Varane is, well, actually looks really good, could benefit your team. I can see why you won't do it because he's expensive or doesn't fit your team right now, but very highly recommended him, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can work him in, then yeah. If you're not going to use him, then absolutely don't. But if you've got an attachment to Varane for any part of his career or Serie A, or you think that actually in the future, again, he could fit an Evo, and again, he could be tremendous because he's only 87 rated just now.
Yeah, but if you put him in an Evo, that beautiful card design goes boom.
That is the only downside.
And Mewis Salmon, fun card. Salmon probably a little bit more than Mewis. Fisk, not really mentioning, not because he's a Liverpool player, Nathan, but because the card itself isn't that special for us.
No, but I think because it's an objective one, you could probably do it fairly easily. Again, it might be nice just having your club, but I think if you're going to say any out of those three, you'd go for Mewis and you'd go for Salmon. Salmon probably, although it's an SBC, I think that'd be quite a nice one to have regardless.
100%. Nate, something, this is the button I wanted to press for a while now, but it's time for us to
Player in review.
get a little bit of Daniel on the show as well. Player in review. Friday show, I spoke about Miedema. Actually, Chris highlighted her. I said, that's actually a pretty cool card. You know what? I just bought one. I bought her for a little bit more than she's worth now. When we're talking about it, I think I bought her for 50k something. I said jokingly, I'll buy a whole ton of her because she'd get upgraded anyways. I didn't. I just bought one just to make sure. But she did play this weekend league as a cam on Shadow Striker. And Nathan, I should have actually opened on my web app, but I think she scored 11 times in my 15 Wicked League matches. What a card this is proven to be. And here's the next one. I am selling Haaland and just put her in top.
I think it looks a really nice card. We use, I've said well-rounded before. I think this is another one like that. Decent pace. The shooting's very good, especially if you put a chem style on it. Passing's all right. Short pass 85. I think that's really good because some of the short passing on the strikers I've used at the moment is horrific and it bounces away. Nice dribbling. Very good physicality as well. So, yeah, you can see why you'd like her, John.
Yeah, so I put a Hunter on her, to be honest, which puts her at 96 finishing, 92 shot power, 98 volleys, 95 acceleration, and 91 sprint speed. But don't forget, she is 5'10" as well with 95 jumping.
Yeah.
And I think she scored 3 headers because her heading accuracy is also 90. So, yeah. But don't underestimate the 91 composure on this card, which is... And I think the finesse shots she has as well.
She's got finesse, and I know chip shot's not very good this year at the moment, but if that gets nerfed slightly, then she's got finesse, chip shot as well as your incisive pass and technical. So she's got quite nice traits, especially for a cam.
Yeah, and she will get upgrades, most likely, right? And why I wanted to review her, why I wanted to put some attention on this card is people say this is hard to link, but it also links with the regular male City players.
Yeah, absolutely. And
right.
We know people like Haaland, people like Foden, De Bruyne, even
Walker.
sort of Ruben Diaz, Walker. Yeah, Ederson seems to be everywhere.
So, yeah.
And
so
Dutch.
I thought it was I would highlight it if you can put it even on 2-cam in your team. It doesn't affect anything else. Once again, I keep saying that. Only affects her bonus stats. if she gets a +6 on shooting because she's on 2, that's still fine. So
yeah,
of
no, I think
+4, I think. So.
I think that's a great one to highlight. I think there's a lot of potential there. If that walks out from your rewards untradeable, you wouldn't be disappointed at all.
Well, people say it's 40k, so they would, but I'm seeing so many cards that are not expensive being pretty good that I don't think you necessarily have to look at all the OP cards. And we'll do a separate show about this. But look at the rules. If the rule fits your play of your play of style, then find the right player towards that role. I think that's the best way to do it. And for me, it was like even at camp, she was perfect. Now I put her on striker, and it's like, actually, like a far more than the poacher plus, for example, Haaland has. So
yeah, no, that's a great shout.
So just someone I wanted to highlight because I played a lot, and she was really good for me this weekend. So do you have anything to add, Nathan?
No,
We spoke
not
content. Any EVOs you want to highlight or something like that? But
no, I know everyone's jumping on the latest EVO with Brennan Johnson, who I think is going to be really hard to snipe at the moment if you've not got him. New EVO looks good. I can't actually remember what it's called.
the Cannon, I think.
The Cannon, yeah. So Johnson looks decent, but again, it's 50k. I think there's still good cards out there for 50k without being an EVO. So hopefully it is the EVO sort of style is completely patched. Again, I just reiterate what Dan and Shaq said either last week or the week before. Sometimes it's best to hold off with your EVOs as well, because you can sometimes chain them together and make better players. So don't rush into using them, or sometimes the alternatives with the chains are better than the ones that you want to jump into straight away, which I may have fallen foul on already in FC25. But don't go in too quick. But I think EVOs are still, now that they're potentially fixed, I think that's a good thing again to bring back.
I EVO'd a Jimenez at the start of the game, day one, not knowing we'd get a free Jimenez 2 weeks later. So, I mean, it happens. I got 2 now. It made it easy to unlock Jimenez when actually using Jimenez on top, though, in squad battles this weekend. But hey, that's a different story. Nathan, thank you so much for covering me, because if you're looking at the video show, you see me coughing constantly and hitting the mute button. But if you're listening to the audio version, you've not noticed that, because Nathan's such a great co-host here tonight. So thank you for that.
No, thank you for
If
having
you
me.
like the show, give us a thumbs up, a subscription, always free, a 5-star review on any of your podcast services of your choice, of course. And follow us on YouTube, etc., etc., etc. You know the drill. And if you want to go the extra mile and you want to make sure we can keep this daily content going, go to patreon.com/futinreview. It is about, we start at $3 a week or something, $3 a month, I think, even $5 a month, $5 a month, I think. And you get these shows early. You get these extra shows for free, coaching discounts, and event access. Remember, November 9th in Edinburgh. We'll be there, and it's going to be awesome. More info soon. Nathan, thanks so much. One thing left for us to do.
Drop it.
Drop it.
FUT. Interview.